Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode, and Chelsea take on Barrow tonight. So we're going to be looking at what my starting 11 would be, what I think Enzo Maresca will do, and looking forward to Brighton on the weekend as well. But firstly, I want to give kudos to Enzo Maresca for that win at West Ham again, because I've rewatched the game and I focused more on the patterns of play now that I knew the result. I could focus more on what he was trying to do, and it was simply outstanding, to be honest. The direction the players were going in, everyone seemed in tune. You had Marc Cucurella inverting in the right times. You had Jadon Sancho peeling wide and beating a touchline winger at the right times. You had Jackson doing his movement at the right times. It all just linked in. You had Caicedo just eating up at the right times and playing decisive balls at the right time. They kept possession well. Simply, rather than West Ham being bad, I was focusing more on Chelsea being brilliant. And we need to give them his respects. Chelsea have only lost to Man City this season so far. Now, I know you say it's early in the season, but you know what? Things are looking bright. Slowly but surely, Chelsea are just getting better and better week in and week out. And the strength and depth that they've got in their squad is simply unbelievable. I can't lie. It's unbelievable. It's exciting. Now, what I want to touch upon, I want to give Nicholas Jackson his props, because I thought, well, I've said this for a long, long time. His movement already is at the elite level. Now, if you look at his second goal, the one that Caicedo plays the ball through and he goes through one goal, slots it home with the outside of his right foot. It was a beautiful finish, a beautiful pass. But if you focus on Nicholas Jackson, the double movement, I did a scout report on Nicholas Jackson and I spoke heavily about his movement and the double movement to create the space for him to then exploit is unbelievable. Movement is a key to football. People need to realize this. Enzo Maresca is not there to coach players how to kick a football, how to pass a football. He's there to coach them into playing into a unit, to establish these patterns of play so then they can unfold before our eyes. And that's exactly what happened. Nicholas Jackson, he started with the defender on his backside. He moves in, creates that space in behind. The defender comes with him, he spins off, exploits that space, and he's through on goal. Sounds simplistic, it really does, but it's difficult to do in elite level football because defenders are more in tune to what space he's going to move into. But when you've got the sharpness and quickness of Nicholas Jackson, it's extremely difficult to defend against. Now, one key method I want to point out is Jadon Sancho acting as a touchline winger opened up that space for Jackson to then do those double movements. See how it's all linked in? It's all linked in, and Enzo Maresca's doing this. So you need to give him his props. We need to. We can't sit here and say it's an awful performance because they scored 3 goals, kept a clean sheet. In West Ham, they haven't got bad players. But anyways, yeah, just wanting to give Nicholas Jackson his props because without that double movement, Moses Caicedo doesn't see the pass. So it's not Moses Caicedo playing the ball into space for then Nicholas Jackson to sprint onto. It was all linked in, and that's a beautiful thing. And having Cucurella coming inside, creating overloads inside, that frees up Caicedo to then play that ball. It's all linked in is what I'm trying to say. So you can clearly see Enzo Maresca's vision, ideology, philosophy coming into play. Now, the more they continue to play this way, the better they'll get at it. There's going to be times where it doesn't come off because that's football, that's sport. There's going to be games where it just doesn't happen for you and you just can't break through and you just can't finish those chances. That's going to happen. That is sport. That is football. But believe you me, when it goes well, it's a beautiful thing. Now, with that being said and in mind, Chelsea take on Barrow tonight, and this would be my starting 11. Let me get that a bit bigger for you. And yes, it is pretty much completely changed because I think these players need to get that continuity and believe they're involved in the squad, but also need to learn that system a bit better. I think Pedro Neto, for example, is still trying to learn that system. João Felix are still trying to learn that system. So there's no better opportunity than to play that system against a team like Barrow. Now, the rhythm of the team won't be as fluid, and that's because you're chucking in a new 11 together that have never played together. So the rhythm, the fluidity probably won't be there, but you want to see them learning that role individually. So for me, I would start with Jorgensen in goal, give him a run out, get him learning, just give him a feel of the game. And then I would start with Achimpong at right back. I think he's really been impressive for the under-21s. And you've got to think, the under-21s play against this sort of level because they participate in the EFL trophy, which is all League One and League Two teams, and the majority under-21 teams that want to be involved. Chelsea are one of them. So Achimpong has played against this sort of level before, but you'll have more experienced players around him. So he's going to learn a lot more in this game than what he would having a complete 11 of under-21s. Now, I think he's got the physicality, he's got the quality to do well in a game like this. Now, for me, I would have him not inverting for this game only, and I'll tell you why in a second. I would have him acting as that third centre-back in possession, standing at 6'1". He's quick, he's physical. I think he'll do just fine in a game like this. Then I would start with Tosin and Disasi at centre-back, and then the big one, Chilwell. I've put him in there because I think Maresca will. Now, I think Maresca will want Chilwell inverting, and I think you'll use this game as an opportunity to see if Chilwell can play this role. And that's why I've said Achimpong act as that third centre-back in possession, because I think Maresca will want to see if Chilwell is capable of playing this role. So that's going to be interesting. And then I would start with Renato Viega and Dewsbury Hall in the middle. I think Renato Viega had a good game against Bournemouth in the middle of the park. So I think he deserves that. He deserves that starting spot. If Lavia's fit, I would like to see him get some minutes. Same with Malo Gusto, maybe coming on for the last half an hour, just to get the sharpness back a bit. But I would start with this. And then I would start with Pedro Neto on the right. I would use his pace to try and get him behind because, and I'll tell you why in a second, I would have João Felix as the number 10 role, the Palmer-esque role, if you like. He can be your creative force. And then I would start with Tyreek George on the left for similar reasons as Achimpong. I think he's been performing well in the under-21s. He's been training with the first team. He's been getting to know the first team 11. So there's absolutely no reason why he can't play in that. And I would have him acting as that Jadon Sancho role, that touchline winger, receiving the ball out wide, isolating his fullback, and just using his dynamic pace to get past the opposition. Christopher Nkunku up top. For one reason, he's clinical, he's composed in the box, and I think he'll do well tonight. Second reason, Christopher Nkunku is a different style of forward to Nicholas Jackson. He's not very much getting in behind like Nicholas Jackson does. He's more of a pockets kind of player. So I think that's why you need Neto's pace to get in behind. And that's what I'd be looking at doing. And that's exactly what I would do to break Barrow down, because I can see Barrow pretty much having a low block. So having Christopher Nkunku coming to receive the ball at feet, being that pockets player alongside João Felix and trying to exploit the space with Pedro Neto. So that would be my starting 11. However, I do think Maresca will play Mudryk on the left instead of Tyreek George. And I can see him playing Disasi at right back and maybe Balashil at centre back. That's what I can see Maresca doing. But hey, he's the manager, not me. And that's why he gets paid the big bucks. But that's what I would do. I think that would have enough quality, surely, to break Barrow down and beat Barrow. But one thing I want to remind fans is you're not going to get that fluidity that we see at West Ham. because one, Barrow are going to try and make themselves hard to beat, and two, this will be a complete new 11 that'll be put in together. Now, the reason why I think you'll stop Mudryk on the left is because he spoke about him in his press conference, and he said it's not confidence, which I agree with. I think he's a confident young boy. However, the reason why Mudryk is misfiring is because he's overthinking things. He's trying to do the hard things too much. He's trying to when he gets that opportunity, he's trying to impress so much. He's not letting his natural game flow. He's overthinking everything. His position, the way he receives the ball, who he's passing to, his decision making is poor. And that's just down to overthinking. He just needs to find that composure and just play the game naturally. For Chelsea to get a good result tonight, they just need to do the simple things well. They work hard, do the simple things well, and they'll beat Barrow by 3 or 4 goals. If they try and overcomplicate things, that's when things get messy. And that's what happens with Mudryk. Every time he gets an opportunity, he's overcomplicating things. But because we're playing a League 2 side and we've got Brighton on the weekend, who are unbeaten this season actually, and they've been away to Arsenal, they played the likes of Man United. So Brighton are going to be a tough game on the weekend. Chelsea have got 4 home games in a row next. I think it's Barrow tonight, Brighton on the weekend, Ghent in the Conference League, and then Nottingham Forest, and then they're away to Liverpool. There's absolutely no... I think Brighton's the most difficult game, but there's absolutely no reason why Chelsea can't get 4 wins here. I know it's not as easy as that, but if we rotate the squad, keep players healthy, keep players fit, there's no point in risking Palmer, Jackson tonight. There's no point in it because we should be beating Barrow with this team. But I would like to see a few more youngsters on the bench, maybe Kane or Dyer. But we've got to remember that the under-21s are playing Bromley away tonight in the EFL Trophy. So that's why I don't think we'll see as many under-21s as what we would if there was no under-21 game. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of team he selects, because that'll give you insight on which players he thinks are really standing out in the under-21s. So guys, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, support this channel, hit the subscribe button, and if you've got any recommendations on how I can improve this sort of content, please let us know, because I'm new to this. But enjoy the game tonight, relax, enjoy, don't stress out too much if it's not as fluid, because it's not bound to be as fluid. But thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your day, guys.